this.
I mean, literally.
It means nothing to me.
Every, linen closet, everything. Because that's how they go through the back doors.
It was done on purpose.
Far too late. Hmm? I do not know.
Some kind of live plants or something on there.
Not know.
Youngest one is walking now. And just doing his little hands. I have 3 total. Well, and they're all boys. Oldest one is 5, 4, and then 1.
Daughter, busy, I'm sure.
My daughter has 2, and then my stepson has 1. But those 2, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Going over to the, I'm going over to Marion County tonight. Yeah,
5:30.
yeah.
Thank you, Pam.
I want to hear what
This
what
boy
the
was born
Marion
with
County
funky
people
pants.
say that are living on that
little one.
so-called road, that they're gonna all lose their houses or their driveways and have
Yep.
4 lanes of traffic in their front yard. I mean, we're kind of insulated from it,
That's correct.
but they're not. They're not at all.
He would have times when
Something in the house.
I think,
Y'all go.
All right, naked?
I think it's at the community center. I have to double check.
whatever, but he was like, no,
Morning.
Yeah, yeah,
"Well, we
Ray
can't
keeps
go
sending
without
out the reminders. I put it in my
airplane."
calendar.
And it
I just want to
It
sit in
took
the
an
back and
hour.
listen. It might be better than one of our meetings. And then maybe nobody will show up, who knows? Right? Who knows?
Yeah, apparently, technical delay, they're having trouble with the camera.
Okay.
They're trying to upgrade the system here. And
What's his first question? Your first question?
He has another interview.
Well, you said that. You don't know what.
And if I say it's 7 o'clock,
Pull it out
he'll
of
get on
Kevin,
the phone and say, no,
Kevin,
it's 7.
Tell him how bad the
because
traffic
he's
is
got
down
the
there.
guys out seating right now, and he really needs to go, so maybe he can speak to the board and they can relay his message.
Yeah, they're in the middle of overseeing. He don't want.
So, yeah.
I know it's a bad time. It's a busy day, isn't it? Yeah. I get it.
Hey, I've heard all kinds of stuff. Our managers, the regional manager, everybody was here. Our regional managers was here.
No questions. Well, he's not going to be able to come back. I think the only thing we wanted was for you to
Test,
reiterate
test. Hello, hello, hello.
overseeding and stay off the grass. Oh. And that's what you got to, I just want that explained to the public.
He hasn't.
I
There were
suppose we can
like
explain
3 or
it.
4 people.
Every time we say something, they say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I thought it might come. It might sound better coming from the superintendent. Yeah.
What you need?
I am Tuesday. Yeah.
Working, we're troubleshooting, but as long as they can hear it,
Yeah.
we'll continue.
Good morning, Summer Glen. Well, if you're just hearing a voice at home, we are having camera difficulties, unfortunately. We don't know what the issue is, so we might just have to be audio only. So sorry about that. Thanks for your patience, and we'll try to carry on, and they'll see if they can get it working in the back here.
Good job.
Yeah, I want it to come from him because you know how we've been beat up. But I don't want to tie him up either. Another snafu.
We're gonna go and hope for the best, guys.
Okay,
All right, Kevin, we're ready.
let's do it.
All right.
Are we ready again? I'll start the meeting again. Apologies for those listening at home. We are having video difficulties, so shall I say the meeting will continue in audio only for the moment. But let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so we're, again, if you didn't hear me at the beginning and someone's not just switched on, we're having audio-video issues as per usual. We're just going to continue in audio mode only. Reminds me of listening to the radio when I was a young kid. Listening to all those Frank Sinatra things and so forth. Okay, first of all then, Kevin, have we a determination of a quorum?
Good morning, Raymond, Board, and Summer Glen. Yes, we do have a board with 6 members present. Welcome back, Lynn. And the meeting was noticed in according to Florida State Statute 720 and the Summer Glen governing documents.
Okay, great. I'm just going to deviate a little bit from resident input because Patrick's there. You're still there, Patrick? Yeah? Could you please come to the mic and just explain a little bit about the overseeding process so that everyone in the community, at least by audio, is aware of what needs to be done?
Yeah, well, we're in the process now of seeding our fairways. And I know the course is closed tomorrow. And we're getting the seed down today, but tomorrow we're putting down a pre-emergent herbicide along the edges of all the fairways, greens, tees, and it's very important to stay off it so we're not tracking that.
What is that product, Pat? What is that product you're talking about? You're putting down?
The pre-emergent.
Yes. What's that do?
Well, it inhibits germination of any seed.
Okay.
You know,
Just
because
so the people
when we're
know.
putting the seed down, it's not a perfect edge, but when we spray the pre-emergent, it puts a nice sharp edge on the fairways, tees, greens, and so we just need people to, at least for tomorrow, just stay off, driving from the rough into a fairway, or anywhere you drive. No seed will germinate, and so it leaves tire tracks. And the pre-emergent holds up for 3 months, so it'll be 3 months before we could fix those mistakes. We got greens done last week, and they're already in, or was that 2 weeks ago? But 2 weeks, okay. And they're already coming in. They got beautiful color. That Poa trivialis we put down looks really good. We're mowing it daily, and hopefully have them rolling, 9 to 10 here any day. But that's as far as overseeding. That's about it. And then over the next couple weeks, we're going to water in, the pre-emergent tomorrow. And, that'll should prevent most of the tracking, but really need, a solid week before we know it's worked in, it's taken up by the plant, and just stay off fairways, so you're not moving the seed around, leaving tire tracks. As long as we keep the pre-emergent off, we can always fix, tire tracks. We have plenty of extra seed. So any seed that gets blown or moved around by tires, we can touch up.
So this the pro shop. They know exactly what you want done for the outside crew.
I know the starters do. I don't.
That's very important. They have to be able to tell the people when they come in tea time to stay off the fairways. So we have to be real enforcer. We got to enforce them rules right from the pro shop.
Yeah.
Okay, who said that? I did. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I speak to the starters every morning,
Okay.
so I know them all.
Good. Thanks, Pat.
Could
right.
could you get that posted up in big letters outside the pro shop and on the door? Kevin and Marie, could you get that done?
Yeah, there's a note there. There is a note right now that states the course is closed tomorrow. We did have one group scheduled, but they've backed out, so the course will be closed tomorrow to let Cypress do their work.
Okay.
Just closed for the one day?
There's one group now that I believe they're kind of following behind, and then they'll be done, and then there won't be any more play for today. Closed tomorrow.
Okay,
How
thank you.
long,
Yeah.
how long do you envision driving in the rough and walking to your ball?
I'd give it a week.
Okay, minimum, yeah.
Yeah, it's ryegrass, and as long as, we'll be watering twice a week. So the fairways, well, greens too, everything's gonna be very wet. So to avoid, rutting up the fairways, just everybody stay off them. But, yeah, I don't see, no more than a week.
And just so everyone knows, I believe we're allowing single carts, so that when Tom hits to the right and I hit to the left, we can
yeah.
take single carts.
Yeah, which, generally it's only 2 carts per group, because
Right.
carts are what do the damage out there.
Correct.
So make sure you scatter, don't follow the person in front of you, make your own tracks, so we're not
Yeah.
compacting the same area
Right.
all day long.
Okay, good, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you. We'll handle the golf course report ourselves, so I'll let you go. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Pat.
sorry for that slight deviation, but the overseedings are very important. We don't want that being delayed. So I'll now start with the resident input on agenda items. I have 4 names here. One of the items is actually not a topic for this meeting, but I'll start with Sue Rodriguez, lot 819, wishing to talk about the CRF for landscaping.
Good morning. Sue Rodriguez from the Master Plan Landscape team to address the CRF on today's agenda for the Poolgate area. The 2 windmill palms needed at the Poolgate is a continuation of the RSO and Grand Hall remove and replace project that we started this year. The recommended size, as shown in the packet, is a 45-gallon. The space at the Poolgate where the old landscape was removed is a large area. And this size palm will make a nice visual impact for that entrance. A 30-gallon palm would be a consideration if needed to meet availability or total cost limitations. I consulted with Amanda Merrick from the Extension Service on the choice of the windmill palm and timing for planting. She said even though the windmill palm is cold hardy, she recommended planting by October, early November. If we cannot meet this timing for installation, we would like to have this approval for doing so in the coming planting season of early April. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Diane Doan,
Good morning, Diane Doan, Lot 559. What Sue said, I was going to say, so
she stole your thunder.
she stole my thunder. She did. But the other thing I want to talk about was the RFID for the gatehouse. I just wanted to inform the board that that is a CRF. That's under F&G. It's a CRF number 0019. Just to let you know that. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So next person up, Bob Saltzman.
Hi, Bob Saltzman, Lot 107. On the landscaping contract, I may have written this on one of my emails to the board, and I just don't remember the answer, quite frankly. But since it's on the topic today, I thought I'd ask again. Who is responsible for the area? Is the contractor you're about to go into or consider the entity that's going to take care of the area surrounding the practice green and the driving range, which looks like crap and has looked like crap, and I've tried to bring it up before, and I hope you can answer it as you discuss the contract, who's responsible, and hopefully someone will take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there was one other person signed up to speak, which is Tom Ely, but the subject he wishes to speak about is excluded from this meeting. So it's not a subject of this meeting. It's not a subject of this meeting. The subject of this meeting is golf course report, which is the report on the status of the golf course greens, tees and fairways. I'm sorry. Be quiet. Leave the room. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Well, he's your employee, not mine. Next subject is the golf course report, which I was just about to go to because Patrick can't present this. I don't know whether it got into your packet. It did get into their packet, I'm not so sure. Cypress Golf did a report on the tees, fairways, bunkers and greens. They did an assessment. It's about a week or two later than it should have been, but they've scored it quite low in places, and I think that was probably intentional because they didn't want to start with large numbers and then work downwards. There are issues they continue to find. There are some suggestions on here. It's not in my intention to go through each of the comments on each item. Some of these issues are known, pre-known by ourselves. So if you haven't got a copy of this, there is a copy back I saw on the table. But any board members wish to ask any questions?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the report, which is similar to the suggestion that I made to the board, and it looks like they're using a rating system of 1 to 10, which is fine. I see a lot of 5s and 6s. Have we gotten a report from First Service from Kemper?
Not yet.
That's something that is required under the contract. We've talked about it, I think, months ago. Am I right, John?
Tom, it's in the works. Graham said he's working on that. He wanted to wait till we got the course in a little better condition, but I'll get an update from Graham on where he stands with that.
Well, yeah. Do we have an ETA on it?
I'll get it.
That's important for two reasons. Number one, Cypress has been here working since the middle of July, I believe. And so several months have come by. So I think it's worthy of looking at it. We also were interviewing new people for the golf manager job, and that report would help them get a feel for what they're getting into. So, I would hope by the end of the month we have something. We've talked about it for months. I'm not so sure why it's dragging on, but
I'll get an answer.
light a fire under it, will you, please?
Yeah.
I just
They have been reminded a few times.
I just sent a fire to Graham, so I'll get an answer. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions, Steve? Lynn, I know you've been missing, so you've probably got a lot to catch up on. I know you've been looking at emails, but there's probably a lot to catch up on. Okay. So any other concerns with the golf course report? Okay, and we all know about the overseeding, which has just been explained to us. So let me continue now with the Wi-Fi controls for thermostats. This has subject been brought up At the moment, we have lock boxes on a few of the Wi-Fi controls, and some of them are just left open. So anyone who's using the room can set the thermostat at whatever temperature they kind of like. So there has been a suggestion that maybe we automate these. Now, I I have feelings about this, and pluses and minuses for this. So if you automate all of them, then yes, you have full control. Do we want to get into a situation like we have at the moment with Aaron Ferguson, if they were the guys that kind of screw us around a little bit on these things? Maybe I shouldn't say that publicly, but we do get screwed around a little bit. Or should we just leave it to make them all the boxes tamper-proof and be locked, and then only certain people have authority to undo the lock and change the key? I know, Diane, from rightly, you have control over the box here. Oh, okay, great, thank you. So all the ones with covers on, you've got control over. So it's a suggestion. So I'm leaving it now to the board members to give their thoughts and comments on it.
You know, I kind of made the suggestion that we look at the thermostat process, not as much about Wi-Fi, about a plan that controls the use of our air conditioning system. Wi-Fi is a tool to help manage it, but it's the plan that I'm concerned about. Obviously, we've got a new budget for 2026. Electric is included in it, obviously. There's some concerns that electric may go up, rates are always going up, costs are going up. How much do we budget for it? We try to be realistic, but one of the things we can control is the use of the air conditioning. I can tell you many times I've been in that boardroom in the corner, walked in and it was set at 70 degrees. There's no reason it has to be I immediately change it. I come in again, it's 70 degrees, okay? This room here, with the people we have here now, there's no reason for this thing to be set. I don't know what it's set at, Diane?
72.
72. I could tell you my wife would have a fur coat on if my house was at 72. that happens to be her personal thing. But I'm not so sure things shouldn't default to 74, 75 unless there's an event. With the number of people that are in this room this morning, we're not stressing the air conditioning by any means. And I think that goes for the gym. I think it goes for the RSO meeting rooms. It's not much about Wi-Fi. It's more about a plan to manage it and keep it so it doesn't cost us as much to help offset our electric bills in the future. I can tell you I have 2 air conditioning systems in my house. Both are tied to Wi-Fi. I can control them remotely, set them at 78 when I'm in the car coming home, reduce it when I get home. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do, but you need a plan. And I think what we're missing is a plan to manage the use of our electric and our air conditioning to hopefully save us some money.
Okay, then I would make a suggestion. We're a bit late in the year now, but let's have a green plan, okay, to work on and try and see what we can do. Obviously, I mean, I have my AC at home at 75, but I'm not a cold or warm mortal. Some people, like it cold. Some people like it hot. I think I can't remember what the maths are, but I think each person per hour gives out about 500 watts of heat energy. I'm not too sure, so don't hold me to that. I'm going back to my days many years ago. So when you have a crowded room, you're giving out a lot of watts of energy. So we do need a plan. Maybe that's something we'll look at and work on in the future.
I just to piggyback, and I know there was a lock. I'm positive there was a box in the RSO that thermostat was locked up. I think it disappeared when they repainted. And I know I'll go in there to play cards, at night, and I understand the ladies do exercise in the morning, and they may want it at 72. And we'll go in there and sit there and playing cards, and everybody's putting a jacket on, because it's still at 72, and it probably runs at 72 all night long. So it seems like it should be locked, and I know they could be scheduled, they're scheduled thermostats, but I shouldn't be able to go in there and push it down to whatever temperature. I shouldn't have that authority.
So with corporations that I've been involved with, churches big and small that I've been involved with, at those times, every one of them had a lockbox on them. And the only people that had access to those were, just a handful of people that most of the time, if somebody was going to have a meeting in the church, that's whatever, women's group, they would contact, one of those, you call them maintenance people, call them, air conditioning people, whatever you want. They would contact them. And then it wasn't for them to decide, well, we want it set at 72. It was pretty much based upon the amount of people that were going to be in that facility at that time. So, if you've got this many people, I mean, literally 75, 76 is probably more. We have ours set at 78 at home, and we're from California, so it's like, but we got ceiling fans. Now, there is no ceiling fans.
Right.
But, 74, 75 is more than sufficient. Now, the workout room, I could see setting that maybe a little lower, possibly. What you saying, ceiling fans? I agree that you put some of those in there and make a big difference. But the bottom line is all the facilities, all the buildings had a lockbox with just a handful of people that had the keys to that had control of that. And that way, I can't fathom the fact that, we have air conditioning is if I come in here and I want to set it to 69 that I can, and we're wondering where our money's going, so lock boxes are great. I have a Wi-Fi one, but that's for my personal home. It makes difference for a complete facility like this. It could work as well, but lock boxes have been very efficient and have worked for anything and everything I've been a part of. So for big companies. So.
Yeah, I think the key thing is to have a plan.
Yes.
And have responsibility assigned to whoever, and it's managed.
100%.
Okay? Just a lockbox by itself won't help if there's not a plan
Right.
of how to manage it.
And that's what I was saying when I said, you have a lockbox and then you have a certain few people that have access to that, but you also have, we'll call it the plan, I think I said rule, that, okay, yeah, we can let you into here. There's going to be 20 of you here. I don't care that you want it at 70 degrees. It's going to be set at 74. So, I mean, that's the plan. That's the people who have the access to those lockboxes also have a plan of what those facilities can be set at, the lowest, the highest, whatever the case, based upon the attendance for that particular, meeting or whatever.
Well, I don't think we'd have to have a lot of conversation about what's going to be in the plan right now. We need a plan, and somebody
Yeah.
needs to develop one, and then it'll be discussed at that time.
You should
So
know
let's
that.
move forward with that one.
Yes, ma'am. Lynn, we do have on Wi-Fi, the Grand Hall Conference Room, RSO Craft Room, RSO Gym, and RSO Multipurpose Room. But I'm not sure about the others. Maybe Lisa can, that's it? Okay, that's it. So we do have them on Wi-Fi. There's
Right now.
just, yeah.
But
there-
can somebody come in and still make a
That's the
change?
problem.
Because I know I can at my house. I'm on Wi-Fi,
Well,
but
so.
I can go in there and drop it
Right.
down
So
too.
that's what we need to do, is set
Okay,
a schedule and then.
Let's have a discussion, maybe think about this. I think rather than going to unnecessary expense of Wi-Fi, which I'm a little bit dubious on working, let's have a green plan and get some rules. Make some rules for rooms. So if you know you're going to a meeting room, the temperature's going to be between this and this. Okay, and if you feel cold, bring a jumper or cardigan or coat or mac or something to protect yourself.
Agreed.
I think that we'll work on that. Okay. Anything else?
I think just the main thing is anybody and everybody not having access or the ability to be able to turn it down or
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
That's the key. That's one of the
Okay.
keys.
Right, let's move on with the landscaping contract. At the previous board meeting, we had 3 contenders for the contract were submitted by suggestions by the working parties of Facilities and Grounds and the Design Review Board. Upon evaluation, the board voted to choose United Land Services. The service agreement is on pages 54, 55 and 56 of the enclosed documentation, which is a whole wodge of stuff. We have had discussions, and I believe this contract has been sent to our attorney, correct? Yes. I've not seen any red line from it as such. The only thing that I would like to add is that in the discussions we have had with United Land Services, we talked about a performance quality check and also non-payment of services if it didn't meet the standard required. I think we need to add that to our contract as part of the deal. Okay. So any idea when we're going to get that back from Toby?
He did respond that he didn't have any red lines, but we'll double check with him to make sure he sent the right contract back. We'll double check that, but he said there was nothing that he could see. It looked like they had included everything that we had asked for, and that there were no adverse reasons not to sign this contract.
So things like insurance coverages, which I don't see actually listed in terms of value in the document.
I did get everything from them, so we have put them through the system, but I think one of the documents was outdated, and Christine let me know, and then we asked for it.
Okay.
And so as far as I know, they have all the updated documentation.
Okay. So without any like formal document from Toby to look at, other than what we've got here.
It was just an email, but I can forward that to you, and then I can double check with him. He's been doing a lot of work for us lately. I need to make sure he attached the correct thing.
Okay.
Because when he attached it, he sent it back to me, and I didn't see any redlining of anything.
Okay.
So, I'll double check with him, I'll call him, make sure, and then I'll forward that to you.
Okay. Is there any other board members want to comment? Because not everyone was on the process of speaking to United Land Services.
Of course.
Pardon?
Of course, I've got to have a comment. A couple things. In the meeting that we had with them, the 2 things we brought up one was the trimming of the roads, the trees to 15 feet, and I think that was added.
Yes.
Okay, I did read it and I saw that. What I didn't see added that we had always agreed with on the floor lawn contract was mulching. In this case, I think mulching is optional,
That is correct.
which means it's going to cost us more than what we're paying now just for mulching alone. I have a little bit of concern about that. The other thing I have a concern, and I like United. I did more homework and research on them. I think they're the right company to go with. I passed there on Monday afternoon. There were 25 cars parked there. They had mulches on pallets in the back. They have trees that they supply and install in some new developments. They're right next to a pretty big nursery, so I would assume they have access to trees and shrubs at a better price than we might be able to get them otherwise. What I do have a concern about, I saw that we limited the front flower beds to twice a year. Is that correct, Marie?
Yes, instead of annuals that we prepay, that we're throwing out after, 3 months and they're still living, we're saying we're only going to replace things that are dead and need replacing.
Yeah, that's an area that people see when they come in. And it's got to have a lot of color. And I think the plants that are there display a lot of color. Replacing the look twice a year I don't know if you're going to maintain the same look that we've had in the past. I could tell you at a previous HOA where I lived, they replaced the flower bed 6 times a year to keep that look, the color, so when you came in, it popped. I don't know if you can get that with 2. So that's a concern I have, you know, because that's what everybody sees when they come in. There's a lot of nice plants, a lot of nice color, and I'm not sure if that can be maintained twice a year, with just twice a year changing. Just a concern.
Right, they're not gonna use the type of plants that they're using now. They will use plants that live longer and live all year long. And that's the idea, is so we plant something that lives all year long, we keep it trimmed, we only change out things that have died.
I
And
guess
with
time will
color.
tell how it
Right,
maintains,
I
I guess.
mean, we can always adjust this. It's a plan just to try not to waste plants, because a lot of our owners get upset about that kind of stuff. But, you know, all we can do is try it. If it doesn't work, we can go back.
I see it at I'm in the Villages, and they do it like 4 times a year, and I watch them rip out perfectly nice plants right on my corner and put in new ones, so, you know, probably maybe if they're the right plants, 2 might work.
I'm just curious, real quick, looking at the contract terms, and, you know, call me a dummy or just help me to understand. Number 3 said rates are subject to increase in conjunction to any company-wide increase of our standard rates. So, and I want to ask on question 4, or on rate 4 too. What is that saying to us? Can things increase? They're under contract for a certain amount annually, and that could increase. I'm just not sure what that's telling me. Again, I'm going to read it. Rates are subject to increase in conjunction to any company-wide increase of our standard rates. What is that telling us?
I believe we have an agreement with them for at least 3 years.
Okay, but I believe we have, but I'm seeing in their contract something that we would be signing that they're able to increase them.
So I think every landscaping company does have a percentage increase every year that's built in. I don't see that here, so instead of leaving it open, that's something I can address. We still have time. We've done it with plenty of time. I can go back and try to get them to be a little bit more.
Yeah,
clear.
most definitely, because this to me is telling me, I don't care what we contract at, they have the right to increase it for, you know, because of a company-wide increase of our standard rates. The other thing is any equipment that requires special access, I'm assuming, I'm not really sure what that means totally, to perform normal repairs may require an additional charge. So now we're opening ourselves up to something that they could say, well, this requires special access, so we're going to have to charge you more. Well, define that. Define special access. Define what equipment you don't have that can do the job that you're supposed to be doing, because this is saying special access to perform normal repairs, not like something out of the blue that, you know, happened that we were all not able to, you know, hindsight 2020 it, but this is saying anything for normal repairs. That would be 2 things, 3 and 4, that I would be real curious to know about. And are we signing something that's going to give them the okay to raise rates or charge us more? I say no. No.
Are you looking at page 53?
I'm looking at the little addendum thing that we have here.
That says services agreement, at the services agreement? Because
Contract terms.
the services agreement on page 53 in section 3 says that the contractor's services shall be increased by 3% over the previous year's level or CPI, whichever is greater. That's section 3. And then let me see about the
Again, that's just kind of saying the same thing, that I'm not sure where this came from, Marie. Did this come from you?
Oh, that's for air conditioner. That's not the right thing, hon. I'm sorry.
That's air conditioner.
That's United Air AC. We're looking at United in your packet, in
The
your
wrong
packet.
United.
United
This is the air
Land.
conditioning.
Yeah, that's,
I was trying to figure out where that was.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, it doesn't say, I
Yeah,
guess,
no,
so.
that was an addendum
This
to,
one-
to section that had to do with the ACs, which is coming up on section E, 6E.
Okay, because this thing that I have is not stating AC, but it's also,
right here.
it's also, I have 2 or 3 of the same thing, it looks like.
No, they're all pretty much the same because the
They're all
units are
hooked
gonna be
together.
almost the same.
Yeah, and it all says the same thing, so I'm not sure why I've got 3.
It's the same
But,
company, but different service.
no, I meant,
Well-
mine says,
No, different
No, they're
companies,
two different
actually.
companies.
This is stapled together, it's together.
right.
It's all one piece.
Okay, well, I mean, that would still,
Well,
that
in
would
your
help.
packet, if you could please look at page 53 in your packet, do you
And I
have?
have 53 open.
Okay, that's the actual services agreement that we will be having with them. These
Okay,
are the numbers and the terms. Now, the rest of the packet, they put in, you know, cutting at 4 inches, which we needed, the raising of the canopy on the boulevard, the, my ability and our ability as an association to deny payment if they have not reported and met with the proper people on a monthly basis. They agreed to all of that. They also agreed to a 30-day, no fault, no reason, you know, we can fire them with 30 days' notice. We do not need to have a reason. We can just, we don't like you, we can fire you. I mean, that, they agreed to that. So that is all in there as well.
And I do remember some of that in that one email, but, so let me just jump back to page 53, item 3, compensation. And again, this is just, I just read it, but help me to understand. So we're in a 3-year contract with them, but yet it looks like they can increase by 3% each year?
Yep.
That's the way all of our contracts are, especially landscaping. There is.
Everyone we ever have that's multi-year usually has that in it.
Wow,
Or CPI, yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
It's a CPI.
Our Spectrum contract actually has 4%.
Okay, I guess we'll just put out money whenever we need to or have to.
Kevin and Marie, what is the effective date that they'll take over? What,
We need it to be December the 1st because Florilon will complete their service that week of Thanksgiving, that day right before Thanksgiving. That's when their contract ends, and then they'll be out. And then these folks come in December the 1st.
so December 1st would be
Their
then
effective,
they would take over?
yes.
Well, let's make sure that we don't process the November bill if we're not happy with Florilon's work.
Hear a no? Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
I would also suggest, I mean, looking at their services, I think certainly they're an upgrade from what we've had before. And I think we could take advantage of, number one, maybe their buying power on shrubs. Also, maybe some opinions, if it's the right shrubs for the right location. I mean, let's take advantage and pick their brain as long as it's free. And when we have landscaping CRFs, maybe we ought to have them look at it first, give us a quote if it makes sense, or give us any comments of whether it's the right shrub for the right area. I mean, they have a lot of experience. Let's take advantage of it.
Well, just as a side note, I did call them about, I know the committee had wanted the windmill palms, and they were asking to get these before the season was over if possible. And they are willing to bid that and get them their palms before the planting season is over. So they're very willing. They have the materials. Everything's very close by. I asked them about all kinds of equipment. They have everything, including vacuums for the leaves, which is a big deal for us. So they can go down the boulevard and vacuum up all those leaves. I mean, that's a biggie there. So, but they're very willing right now to do whatever we need, and we need to keep them that way. I understand that, but we've given them all the information that we wanted, and they're willing to provide that.
Okay, I'm looking at the contract item 13, miscellaneous, and they have in there any court jurisdictions, Duval County. Shouldn't that be Marion County?
I believe, is Duval County Jacksonville?
I think that's where
That's their
main
main office.
That's where their home base
Yes.
is?
Yeah, Jacksonville.
Now, they have a satellite here down on 484, but it's a big satellite office. So
Okay, so it's not something we can change to Marion and have any court cases up in Marion?
I don't know about that. I wouldn't be able to advise you on that.
Okay.
That's just a guess. It's Duval, it's Jacksonville.
If Toby didn't have a problem with that, I wouldn't think it's an issue.
I'll double check everything with him today, and then if if I missed any red lines or he attached the wrong document, I will send the red lined document back to United, have them fix it, and then you will get the official document next week to consider for payment, for signature.
Okay, thank you.
Just out of curiosity on that note, and I'm just thinking out loud here, Duval County versus Marion County, you know, when we're talking about disputes, is there any differences between the two? Could
it's-
one authorize one and the other one not? And so now there's all of a sudden, there's another dispute?
As far as I know, it's all the state of Florida. As long as you're in the same state, we're in good shape.
Okay.
Yeah, I did notice in the payment process, it calls for electronic payment. That's what we do, I believe, with Spectrum also. So Kevin, you need to make sure in December that process is put in place.
We've got them all started, all the documentation in there. All we need is, once you sign, then we can set that going forward, and hopefully we'll be set to be able to do that in December.
Okay, just one final comment from me. In relation to what Bob Saltzman was saying earlier, I got that close to my mouth, sorry. In relation to what Bob Saltzman was saying earlier, in the contract, there is also going to be a map of the respective areas that they are responsible for, as Cyprus have presently for which areas they are responsible for. This has been detailed out. I know Floralawn and Cyprus have gone through it, but I think you in your process of getting have also
Yes.
shown that to United.
So the Veterans Memorial area back here belongs to Cyprus, and they're getting there and they're working on it. And then I guess this area, is the area that he was commenting about. That area is also Cyprus. And again, they've had a lot to fix, and it's on their list, and they're getting to it as quickly as they can.
Okay, so, well, I think what we need to do is, if you get the red-lined document in and distribute it to us, don't worry about getting it updated. Get it to us as soon as possible. We'll take, I mean, I know Stephen's got some serious concerns. I have some issues as well. We just need to make sure we all collectively look at it before we send it back.
And just one last thing for now. Like the contractual lien that they're saying that we're responsible, or our said property is responsible for if they don't get payment for something, and then we're responsible for their attorney fees and so on and so forth. But yet earlier on, we said that if they don't do something that they're supposed to do, we don't have to pay them. So is that going to come
I
into
think
that?
that would be written into the contract.
So it wouldn't fall into, okay, well, we're going to go
Yeah,
into this.
they've actually said to us specifically that, if I recall, that they if we weren't happy, they're quite happy not to receive payment from us until that issue is resolved. And I think that was probably his words, or maybe close to his words. I'm not too sure, but that's what the gentleman said to us when we spoke with him.
Well, because like I said, I just looking at number 12, and it says what their rights are.
We would just, I think, just need to add some legalese in there to cover ourselves.
There's
But
a scope of work that's attached to
he
it.
was quite willing to say, don't pay me until you're happy with the work.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we need to qualify that, but he did mention that, which is I think a generous offer. to
Well,
a certain
just an
extent.
FYI, I'm excited.
And
about United.
I don't have any preference to any of the guys that were chosen.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I think just to comment on that one point, they deal with a lot of contractors building new homes, and most of those contractors building new homes have skeleton financials. Okay, so that clause would be important for them. It probably applies to us, but it's not something that we have a problem with. It's the people they deal with that are contractors building 24 homes, and their financial wherewithal is minimal.
Yeah, and that makes sense, Tom. I mean, but I see it in here, and it's like, to me, if they really wanted to go back on it, they could, but, you know, I'm excited about United, don't get me wrong, but I saw that, and I just wanted to make sure, because earlier on, we said that we could not pay them if they didn't do the job correctly, so I just wanted to make sure that they couldn't come back and say, well, look here, number 12, you know, we're gonna sue you and you have to pay for everything, but that's fine, as long as it's, like Raymond had said, you know, it's put in there specifically, then, you know, we're good. I always look for loopholes.
Yeah. Well, I think, Marie, we've learned a little bit since Laurel Lawn. If there's some things that they didn't do correctly, we got to make sure it's documented in writing. That doesn't mean we're trying to negate the contract, but communication is important. Oral communication with our vendors doesn't seem to work well, as in the past. So if there's anything that they don't do that we need to correct them on, it should be in writing once a month, and the board should know that that's being done, you know.
That's the plan.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on then. Next item is for the installation of the RFID card reader at the main entrance gate. There seems to be some controversy over this. It seems like a check was paid. The work was not done, whether the item was returned or they came and it was returned. To me, it's very confusing. I've seen the email.
So the payment was made right at the end before First Service came in. There was a deposit made, and there was an approval to buy this RFID reader at the front gate. The deposit was made. The people from ISN came to make the installation, but they were turned down because we were in between changing management. So I called ISN. They found the money and saw the deposit. It's about $3,800. So they have the money that we deposited. They're going to send me the original estimate. They're going to send me where it shows that they've received the deposit, and then I get to bring that to you, and you can decide, yes, we're going to go ahead and do it, that or not. Because if we do it, we'll have to pay them the remainder. If we don't do it, then we'll have to request a reimbursement. Now, that gate has had issues. It's just a shame that for an entire year, that company kept our money and never said anything to us. So they said, we put it on hold. Well, that's lovely, but nobody knew that it was on hold. So the idea is, you know, to make a decision on that. So when I get the information from ISN, a lovely lady's working with me on getting the paperwork, I will provide that to you, and then you can make the decision if you want to go ahead and proceed with it, or if you want to pull back and wait till next year and we should get a refund. I mean, they've had our money on hold for a year, so.
Okay, so they have a check with them, which is obviously cashed.
$1,600.
The item is probably going to be more expensive now than it was last year. Okay. All right, so let's wait until that comes back to us and see where we go from that. It's kind of a crazy situation. Certainly a lack of communication there somewhere, but I mean, I can understand it was in that transition period, so it was...
I do want to say that the video is back on, by the way, so they've managed to get the video back on. Yes, that was a transition thing, and I think that it's important. I added it on here even though I need to get you information because a lot of our owners have had issues with the gate and the RFI reader. And this is something that we were supposed to improve a year ago, and it just fell through the cracks.
Well, it's
So,
actually a year and a half ago they've had our money.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Marie, is that reader on the resident side or the visitor side?
It's on the resident side. It's the.
It's the white card that we have.
No, no,
It-
no,
it-
no.
It reads the sticker on the vehicle.
It reads a sticker.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I have not had one issue coming in.
Nor have
The
I.
So what's
resident
happened
side.
is on a lot of the newer vehicles, so, and we've had a lot of folks at this time of the year buy new vehicles. The windshield on the new vehicle has a lot of built-in antenna stuff, and you know how they have a lot more sun protection. So a lot of those folks, for example, one of them is a Cadillac. You buy a brand new Cadillac, that windshield is different. And when you put your sticker up there, it interferes with the reading of the sticker because of all the stuff in the windshield. This new RFID reader is updated, is supposed to read everything.
Also tape, if people are just not sticking it, but doing it with tape, the tech said, no, don't do that, that could, believe it or not, interfere with it.
Well, guess what? Mine's been on, I've had 2 cars, one's brand new. When I moved in, Leland told me, put it up with Scotch tape until you find exactly where it reads both gates. And it's still on Scotch tape and it reads both
Well,
gates
we tell
fine.
that to folks,
So
too.
maybe it's the difference between a Chevrolet and a Cadillac. I don't know.
They're both GMs.
I don't know either. I do know that the ones that seem to have the most problems are the newer vehicles.
So did we get a quote or a bid from this company for a certain amount of money that we gave them part of it already?
Yes, so this was a
Okay.
CRF that
Looks
we
like
had.
50%.
And it was approved through the CRF, and I asked the FNG and DRB to look it up for me, and that's what they were telling you earlier. They did look that up, CRF 0019. That was approved, and so we got something with an estimate. They wouldn't come until we gave them the deposit because they wanted us to buy the part. And then once they checked that, then they came to install it, and there was confusion, and the person installing it was turned away at the gate.
So my point of asking that was, I think John mentioned or somebody said something, well, it's gonna cost more now. But my thought on that is they either come out and do it for the amount that they invoiced us for or that they've already been paid on.
Yes.
Or we get a refund and go to somebody else. If we're gonna pay more money, then go to somebody else.
So I'm hoping that that's the case. That's why I asked for all the original paperwork. And so this lady at the company is looking for that. And that's what I'm hoping is she'll send me the original paperwork, and we'll try to go with the original paperwork if it's approved by the board. But, you know, it was approved before, but we're in a different situation this year. So that's something that's gonna be up to you. That's at your discretion, whether you wanna follow through or not, or wait.
Okay, I think let's wait till we get the new quotation and
Yeah.
move forward.
Same
I've-
price or refund?
I've, actually, Marie, just as a footnote, I've got 2 of those stickers and they don't work on one of my cars.
You need to buy a Chevy.
Irrespective of where you put it on the windscreen. So that's another issue. Okay, let's drop that one. So the next item, and this was very confusing because we didn't have the up-to-date paperwork. We had, and Steve's got all confused with the word United. There's lots of Uniteds. We have got new quotes now. We had old quotes for United. So substitute in your packet the new quote to compare with the Nash quote. And I haven't even looked at that myself because it just came this morning. So my speech at the beginning was going to say, hey, what's going on? Because we've got one at $15,000 and one at $27,000. Are we comparing like for like? But now when I see the United quote, the refresh one, the prices from United seem to be floating up towards that way. I haven't done the maths. Maybe Tom can do that for me. But it looks like the United ones are maybe a little bit higher. I'm not too sure.
So anyways, the idea was that in the reserve, I gave you where all the AC units are. I gave you that sheet. On there, you'll see the AC units that are due for replacement. And we do have issues with those. They're running. We've patched them up and they keep running, but they're due for replacement. So those are the 3 units that they looked at. They looked at the maintenance building for the golf. They looked at the pro shop golf, and they looked at the Ream unit, which is just right outside this door and to the left of the RSO building. Those are the 3 units that they're looking at. They're units that,
Okay,
yeah.
so doing bad maths, one, United looks around about $28,000.
Right.
And I'm just rounding up numbers. And Nash is at about, right, let's see a figure in here somewhere.
One comes to 27,482.85.
Yeah.
That's United.
Okay,
And
thanks for doing the maths then.
26,095,
What was the second one, Lynn?
80.
Lynn, I missed your second one.
And both companies are trained.
No, you said one was, give me your numbers again, I missed one.
The cost from each one.
What you just said, I didn't get it, I missed it.
Oh, United, when you add up the 3 different ones, it's 27,482.85. And the first one, even though it says Golf Pro Shop, on your packet, it's actually the one for the RSO. I verified with Marie before the meeting.
Right, and Nash was, I'm sorry.
Pardon?
How much was
the total on
Nash, Nash's total is 26,095.80.
Thank you.
And both of them are identical units.
Okay, thank you.
Train.
Yeah, let me give you a little history of what we did a couple years ago on the board. When I first got on, we were using Bellevue heating and air. They're more of a residential than commercial. We would get invoices that were carbon copies of invoices handwritten on a carbon copy. You could almost not read what they were saying they did. They were not covering this building has 2 units, a major unit back here and a special air system that is different, and Bellevue wasn't qualified to handle it. There's also a similar unit in the RSO that Bellevue wasn't. So we went and negotiated, and we accepted United as our main preferred contractor for air conditioning, so they could handle all the equipment without it being an issue, without subbing it out to somebody else. They have done several units previously in the clubhouse. As a matter of fact, Kevin, I gave you a report of all the permits that were filed under every building we own, and it shows who they were and who did it and so forth. United. I can tell you one thing about United. When you look at their invoice, it's digitally prepared. It gives you a complete explanation of what they did, what they found when they came in, if we have an issue, okay, and what they did to fix it in detail. I have not seen that from very few other vendors. So we kind of used United as our preferred vendor. It does not make sense for us to have 2 or 3 vendors on one building. That does not make sense, okay? On the clubhouse, we have used them since Bellevue. We did have problems several years ago when I think Turnpike Mike was still here. The pans and the drains were small and it was clogging up because it wasn't a big enough drain and would get clogged frequently. So there was a lot of work done by United to fix all that on so that we don't have that problem. If anybody aware of what happens when a pan gets too much water in, it shuts the whole system down, okay, until that clog is repaired and it drains the water out of that catch basin or pan. It does not make sense for us to keep looking at different vendors at all, okay, for air conditioning, because you have to maintain that equipment. I think the clubhouse has what, probably 6 units at least. You don't want one with this guy, one with this guy, one with this guy, and then you know, who do you call to fix it?
I agree with you, Tom. I know that United is our preferred vendor. They take care of all our equipment. But when I called them to bid, they took a very long time and they didn't send me the bids. Then I finally called the gentleman. You gave me his straight name. I called him. He came to the office and I said, look, you're supposed to be the vendor that takes care of our systems. We call you for everything. So the prices that you give me for ACs should be preferred customer pricing. You should be competitive. You should not, because he gave us an original pricing for a unit and it was outrageous. So when I did that, he got it. He walked around, talked to Tony, and then he sent back this adjustment. So I think that that's important. Sometimes we just have to tell people you've got competition and you need to live up to it. And he did. He did a good job.
I understand. Well, we have to make sure that when we're looking at different quotes, you've got the manufacturer, you've got the model, you've got the tonnage, you've got the warranty, and you've got the SEER rating. And I can tell you, for those that don't know, the SEER rating measures the efficiency of the unit. It changes by model. Some could be I've gone through this before. Some could be a single stage compressor. Some could be a two stage, or you could get a variable stage if you want to spend that kind of money.
Yeah, you're quite right, Tom. I mean, United have been specific on what they quote. I don't see actually,
They're trains.
other than them saying it's train systems with Nash, I don't see any specific model quoted.
Oh, okay.
And I also don't see in here, whereas United have talked about warranty and parts
Right.
stuff, I don't see that in the Nash quote.
Well, I have a suggestion. I mean, I really think, our company right now that is our preferred company is just slightly over. I'd really like to go back to him and say, hey, you're slightly over. Can you give us these 3 units for this price that somebody else quoted? And I bet you he will.
Well, I'm also looking at the 2 that I have in front of me from Nash. When you look at the one that was in the packet and then look at the one in the front, and they're both the RSO. And the difference in the price is like $6,000 almost. But what I also notice is the difference in the train. One is a 5 kilowatt auxiliary heater, which is the cheaper one, and the other one's 8 kilowatt. And the Honeywell is 8,000 Wi-Fi stat, where the other one is Honeywell 5,000 T-stat. So there is a difference in the equipment he's giving you when he's giving you that lower prices as well.
Well, actually, it's a higher price. The United quote is a higher price.
Pardon?
The United one is a higher price by a slight amount, but not much.
So
I just like to see, if we are comparing United to Nash, we need to be comparing the right items, and I don't think in the Nash quotation they have the exact specification. I don't mind if they went for a Rheem or another supplier, but we need to know, as Tom said, you need more specifics.
Well, so when I call somebody out, they're supposed to be the expert. They're supposed to give me their expert opinion as to what they feel that needs to be replaced with. So as we're looking at it, we can already see that Nash is giving us something less than the company that we currently have, which is United.
Right.
So, in order to have people stay competitive and in order to spend this kind of money out of reserves, I needed another estimate to show you. And that's all I was doing. I wasn't going to another vendor. I just needed estimates.
No, I'm not. All I'm saying is if we were even to consider Nash as a vendor, then we need to know the specifications of the equipment that's being supplied.
I can do that.
Full itemized. I
Yeah.
mean, I've never gotten a bid for anything that I didn't have an itemized statement from each person who's
So what
bidding,
I can do that.
comparable to
Yeah.
what we need and have.
I can still do that. We have plenty of time. There's no rush on this. I can go back to Nash and write things out like United did and asked for that. I only got United stuff yesterday, so, you know.
Well, I think that's just what
Well, I
Raymond's
just
saying, and I
wanna
think
make
we're all
sure.
saying, we're making sure that we have a full packet from Nash, a full packet from United, that's, and maybe somebody else that's itemized, that we could compare apples to apple and look at their pricing. I mean, that's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, the thing we've got to be careful about is if there's 6 units in the clubhouse, we don't want them to be installed by 2 or 3 different people.
No,
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
not.
That doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
that does-
No,
no, yeah, I
absolutely
agree.
not.
Obviously, we need to check prices and make sure we're getting the best deal we can within reason, okay?
Well, you
But we
can't-
certainly don't want 2 or 3 different people with their hands in the same equipment.
No, when I say itemized from different vendors, I'm saying we're either gonna go with this one, or we're gonna go with this one, or we're gonna go with this one,
What's
period.
this?
But yeah, no, I agree, Tom.
Marie, I'm a little confused because you handed me this morning, and this was in my packet.
Throw
It
that one
said
away.
RSO only, but in this one, and I'm just looking at it fast because obviously we
The
didn't have
first
time
one
to-
was, he only, United only sent me a quote for the
For the RSO,
RSO.
that's
And
15.7.
I know, and
Okay, wait. So now this one has 9822. It says Pro Shop.
That
So then
should
I
be-
flipped
that should be
to the
RSO.
second one. It says Pro Shop 9822. It's like, did you double?
No,
There are
that's
2
his.
units.
That's his mistake, The first one the first page should be the RSO, which should be comparable to the original one you had, but notice the price change when I told him he was competing with other people.
But it's not comparable because the RSO only one is entirely different.
Oh, never mind, I'm sorry. You know what? Remember that piece of equipment that we have over in front of the restaurant that, over by the pro shop, that it's dismantled and it's no longer
Right.
connected? He thought we were bringing that one back to life. That's the original price. So that one you can disregard. It doesn't even, doesn't have anything to do
But
with it.
doesn't the RSO need something?
Yes. The RSO needs the Ream unit that's right outside. That's the first quote on that one that you have. He just put the wrong location. That's
Oh, he
the
put Pro Shop.
Yes, and I
So
can-
they're identical units.
Yes, and
So
he's
the-
using Train. So the RSO, the one for the Golf Pro Shop, that's not the big giant monster, but the other one that's older, and then the one out for the golf maintenance.
So you're saying that the first one, 9822, with all the itemized
That's
here,
RSO.
That's RSO. The second one, same price, same equipment,
Right.
air heater, oxy heater, blah, 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 9822, that's the Pro Shop.
Yes.
And then the third one is
Golf maintenance.
different stuff for golf maintenance, and that one's 77. So this is null and void,
Null and void. That first one's null and void.
okay? And this should be RSO, not Pro Shop.
Yes, correct.
Question, Marie, are any of these units down, but we're getting quotes because they're getting to their extended life?
Actually, they're past their extended life, and we've patched them up a little bit to keep them running. So that's all that we're doing, is getting quotes for you so that you can make an educated decision. That's why I'm saying we have time. This is one of those cases where we have the time. Knock on wood somewhere. We have the time to be able to make good decisions. I can go back, try to get apples to apples. I can talk to our United rep and see how he's, for him to correct the issues on these papers. And then I can bring this back. I can bring it back, not next workshop, because we're going to have to talk about the date, but, we can do it probably for the new year. It's something that you need to think about. We've spent, we'll spend $1,500 repairing a unit that should be replaced, and we don't want to keep doing that if we don't have to. But when we have an issue with a unit and we have events and we have people, obviously we have to fix it because something's immediate. My point is, we've already had to patch these units at different times, and therefore we need to consider replacing them.
Can you ask United to put the SEER rating of each one of the 3 units?
Yes, sir, I will.
Because
ask
the
that.
SEER rating, old equipment is normally 12 if it's new. When it's old, it may be 10. I think in some of the counties, they require at least a minimum of 15 SEER. You can get, for example, I had a new one put in, 5 ton, just like you're talking about. It's a 15 SEER. I could have went to a 20 SEER, okay, if I wanted to spend another $5,000 or $8,000. I have a Mitsubishi split unit in my Lanai. That's a 22 SEER, but it's pricey, okay? It all depends on what you want to pay for. The SEER refers to the rating of it, okay? The higher the SEER number, the less electric it'll use when it's operating, okay? I can tell you, even with a 15 SEER, when I replaced my original unit, my electric bill went down
Yeah.
significantly.
Yeah, just checking one of these. It was only a 14 SEER. I just checked on one of the part numbers.
Yeah.
So, okay. Okay, let's move forward. I think we know what we need to do on that. Okay. Next item, I was quite surprised at this, big length of concrete. Where is that to be? A 41-foot length of concrete we need to
So
repair.
there's that sidewalk that goes out to the first hole. Remember, there's a tree there that's got really bad roots and it's all messed up. That's part of it.
That's the cart path, not the sidewalk.
Well,
Oh, it's cart path.
Yeah.
well, I'll start again. There's 2 areas for repair with 3 sections of concrete. There's a cart path pad 7 feet by 41 foot long. And then you've got 2 at 9 foot by 12 foot and 5 foot by 7 foot. I was just wondering where obviously there's a little smaller patches somewhere, but I was thinking 41 feet of that's probably from that there to there from one corner to the other corner here
Well, it's a
on
little
this
bit-
stage.
It's a little bit more than that because all of these areas that are being considered here have giant tree roots underneath. And what's happened is the concrete either has a very large lip or it has been totally broken by the pressure of golf carts or, whatever. So there, if you go down that first, when you're coming in the community, the first road, which I think is 14th, 13th, right there, there's a giant tree and there's some areas there where the lip is way above the trip hazard. And therefore, the tree the roots have to be cut out. So it's very expensive. You can keep on doing it and repairing it. We've already shaved it many times, but now it's too much, and people can really have an issue going over that with their doggy carriers and
So
buggies.
this is the 41-foot length section. Okay.
So the 41 foot is the 41 foot is the golf cart. There's a golf cart area. Then there's the area that we discussed whether it was cypress or not, and you said, well, there's roots under that tree. That's the one going to the first on the golf cart path. So we decided that it probably wasn't them. It was just there was a big root, and whatever pressure would have applied there could have broken that up.
No, the second one you're talking? The damaged section? Mm-hmm. That's the one that Cypress broke with their equipment. We know that. There's no question they broke it. You could see the ruts from their equipment when they were hauling out the whatever you call that.
It's going to
stone.
be, I brought this up at management, that's going to be your decision, how you want me to handle that. I mean, I need to have it repaired, obviously, and then you need to let me know how we're going to invoice Cypress, or if we're going to invoice Cypress and how to handle that.
That double section that, Dan, wouldn't you say that was Cypress broke that?
Which part you're
The
talking?
one that was really broken up right behind, halfway down behind.
Yeah.
Just have a...
That was roots. Plus, the roots had it raised up. When they went over it, it cracked it.
Correct.
But it was, in my opinion, it was the roots that caused the problem.
Oh, my opinion is
Well, I understand, and maybe we can get them to pay for it.
right. I would ask them to.
Yeah.
I did speak to them about it, and of course, they said, well, if you're going to do repairs, it'll be in the community, it'll be cheaper for us to be able to handle the repairs at the same time. I just don't know how, there hasn't been a decision from you as to whether I should charge them, if I should do it and then bill them back, that kind of thing. We'll talk more about that. I just wanted to let you know, these are concrete areas
The
that need
estimates are
attention.
there. I get it. Well, before we would approve that, we need to make a decision whether they're gonna pay for part of it, because I still believe they broke that.
Well, yeah, it's got to be repaired one way or the other,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, so,
I don't think we should pay for it and then go after them for reimbursement. I think it should be decided beforehand.
Absolutely.
you need that decision before the next board meeting so we can vote on it.
Yes, sir. I did speak to Patrick about it, so I will speak to him further about that. The idea of us getting it done and then building them is because we already have we have Carruthers as a vendor. They've been a vendor for a very long time, and they wouldn't have to set that up. But we would bill them based on the invoice we would bill Cypress based on the invoice for the repair.
Is the basis of cost, in terms of square footage, we're getting a better deal with the 7-foot by 41-foot section than we are with the two sections. So I'm presuming that's just purely based upon insulation costs rather than concrete costs.
I don't see anything in here, and maybe I missed it in the conversation, where, like Dan was saying, it was caused by roots. Well, this is concrete costs, but what about removing the roots and?
So I need to get that back from Carruthers. The person from Carruthers has always done most of all our concrete work, and he is aware that roots have to be, and he said it was included, but obviously I need to get him to include it in the estimate.
And the final thing, Dan always used to mark the cart paths so that we knew what we were looking at. I'd like to see somebody show me the 41-foot. I know where the damaged sections are, but I'd like to see the 41-foot.
I will get Tony to mark those up for you.
Thanks.
Dan, did you do it in any particular color? Red, I guess?
Yeah, you should, whatever ones you're going to replace, you just put a little paint on it,
A little paint on it.
and then they know what's going on.
Got it, all right.
And then obviously getting them to itemize this a little more to include the cutting and removal of the roots, not just the concrete.
All right.
Yeah, and Marie, everybody's got cell phones with cameras. We need to make sure we have pictures before and after and everything, just so we know what we're looking at.
We always took pictures.
We do.
When I was,
Yeah.
I always took pictures.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
then
sir.
marked them.
I do have pictures, and I do remember you said that. I do have the before pictures. I will make sure to have the before and get all the information on here. What I'm thinking is Carruthers, we got this other estimate from this other company, and of course, they've never worked with us. They're just gonna give us whatever number they want. I'm thinking that, obviously Carruthers is probably our vendor. He does a good job. We have had Hardscapes do some work but the gentleman from Hardscapes is really busy at the Villages right now, and he couldn't come over. And he's very comparative to Carruthers, but he's not as available as Carruthers is, and Carruthers is local. So I wanted to make sure that Mr. Carruthers had the opportunity, and so I'll get further information. Do I need to bring more information from the other vendors, bid, or can we just bring forth the Carruthers at the board meeting?
We also want to make sure that PSI is the top PSI.
3,000 PSI is what the person at Carruthers put on here.
Yeah, is that what we did before?
Yes.
PSI?
Yeah.
Four. That's what I thought.
I'm sorry, 4,000 PSI?
4,000 was a
Okay.
PSI, yes.
All right, I'll let him know.
And there was no increase in the price.
Right.
It was just that they got to know that when they're coming in.
All right, I will make sure, so I will get this estimate redone and very specific about the routes.
You might want to correct their
Email.
Carruthers email.
Yeah, email. Yeah, that was the
It
thing.
looks like they got the wrong email.
I saw that yesterday as well. That was
It's
something I
okay,
noted.
yes. They know, I've already asked them, but I'll ask them again, thank you.
If they're trying to email, they might not go through.
I made a note of that in my script about Mike Henry. Okay. Okay, so a couple of things there to be done. Yeah, I think it would help actually, Marie, if you resubmit this to us, if you just take a couple of pictures and slip that to us, and then it'll be clearer. Because I was trying to imagine the 41-foot section of concrete. It seemed to be a long section of concrete that was broken. But anyway, if you take some pictures, then I'm okay. I don't think we'd deviate probably from Carruthers, because Carruthers has probably been the one we've used previously, and they seem to do us a good deal, other than the PSI that was quoted on the concrete. But okay.
Yeah, if this is including cutting out and removing the tree.
Oh yeah,
roots
the
and all
tree.
the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
comments, That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain. Comparing it with what's been done previously, I think that it's just okay. So where we got to?
CRF.
Oh, the landscaping. Yes. Sue Rodriguez had already come up and spoken about the 2 palm trees from a recommendation from the landscaping group. The master plan landscaping group was formed, 18 months ago, at least something like that, and has been gradually working on putting new stuff into the ground. I haven't taken a look at this area. You described it very well, but I haven't taken a look at it. But I know you guys pulled out a lot of vegetation earlier this year. So your recommendation is to for 2 plants. I think you said 2. Well, I think your recommendation was 45-gallon plants, but you'd accept 30-gallon ones, I think, or something. Yeah, kind of. Okay. I don't know. Tom may advise me on where the money will come to do this, perhaps.
Yeah, we're okay with that.
Okay.
I'm just looking at it, and we're looking at 2 palms, one a 30-gallon, one a 45.
245s, yeah.
That would be 2,400, and we're saying not to exceed 3,000. We don't have quotes for 2,400? Okay. Can we get them from?
So this is what I asked our new landscaper. He's willing to give us the quotes and willing to get those palms here quicker for these ladies. If you are willing, if you're going to approve this, I can call him and I can get that estimate right away.
Yeah,
Well, we
and
can't
he can
approve-
also donate them if he wants to.
Yeah. We can't approve it today, but we can.
But I'm saying if I can get those estimates from him and he can get them in here by the end of the month, can I send you a unanimous consent or something like that?
In principle, if we discuss it this morning and we're okay with it, then I'd say yes. You would like to see a cheaper.
I'm going to try
quote?
to get
Yeah.
a cheaper. I'm going to
Okay.
try. I don't think it's going to be 3,000. I think he's going to do better, but I'll let him know, hey, we have a quote and,
So,
you know.
okay, so in principle, we're okay with the 2 trees?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, okay. We'll do a unanimous consent then for that. Russ, okay, good.
Russ is okay with it.
Russ, okay with it.
He nodded.
He's there, he nodded.
I saw him
Okay.
nod.
All right, okay, that clears it up. Okay, the last 2 things which were on our agenda, shouldn't have been on our agenda. I want to blame Marie for that because she added it on after I'd sent the agenda to her. So I'm throwing her under the bus.
That's okay. They were meant as, they're not supposed to be until the board meeting, but this is just informational. We wanted our people to know that Miss Jody she's got a lot of work. She does a
She
lot of
has.
work in this community, and she is not serving in the election committee, and currently we're trying to get somebody new to help us through this election period. And then also she's got a volunteer that's going to be helping out as well as chairperson for the social committee. So just understand that she's trying to pull back a little bit because she's doing a lot of work this time of the year. And therefore, we're trying to, give her a little bit more space. That's all that it was,
Okay.
information.
That was okay. Anyway, it wasn't supposed to be there, so we'll do better in future. Or Marie will do better in future. Okay, move on then. Last thing is, or last few things, director input. And I know, Steve, you want to go 11? If you want to start first. You sure?
Yeah, how
Let
about
me-
Tricia?
Let me
Did
start
you-
with you then,
The
because I know
social
you want to
care,
go.
The volunteer, that's taken care of.
Yeah, it's taken care
Mm-hmm.
of, yeah. Do you want to start? I mean, I know you said you want to get out.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, I
Okay.
don't really have much to say
Well, if I start with Tom,
regarding
we'll
this
be,
agenda.
if I
yeah.
start with Tom, we'll be here till 11:30.
Yeah, I always have something to say. Diane, I saw you put your sweater on, so obviously 72 needs to come up. The other thing is, you know, I haven't responded a lot to some of the comments coming to the board about the golf course. We obviously have a lot of complaints and we have a lot of experts out there. But what really is frustrating is when I look at the election and I see none of those people that claim to have a lot of extensive knowledge on the golf course name is on the election ballots. I find that disappointing. I really do. I don't know why. Maybe complaining and bragging about how much you know trumps accountability. But I know everybody on the board it tries hard to be accountable for the decisions they make. Are we all perfect? No. Do I know everything about golf? I know very little, except I watch it on TV. But the fact that everybody that has a comment, none of their names are on the ballot, it disappoints me. I had to say it. Thank you very much.
I would second that. Not being a golfer, I only played for a short period of time and then for health reasons had to stop. And I love the golf course and I love the way it used to look and it's starting to look again. But I was very disappointed that if you constantly are sitting here telling us your expertise and what you should be doing, that you were not interested in being on the board to try to get some of that stuff done. So I agree with you, Tom. I'm very disappointed there is only 3 people willing to step up to the plate. I mean, come on, guys. This is your home. You're residents here. You tell us you care about Summer Glen, but you're not willing to do anything to try to fix it or make it better. So please, don't make it. Next year, there's going to be 3 openings on the board, and whether some of these 3 people choose to go back on or not is fine. I chose not to because I will be moving sometime within the next year, and hopefully. And not because I don't love Summer Glen. Everybody knows it's for personal reasons. And I want this community to be as beautiful as it was the day I moved in here, and I want it to be taken care of. And if you're going to be living here more than the next 6 months, guys, wake up and smell the roses. Stop standing up here and pontificating about things and then not be willing to do any of the work that it takes to make it happen.
And I would just, if I may, Raymond, just
Yeah, you may.
piggyback on both those. I agree wholeheartedly. I've been the target on some of those emails, and when my wife and I first moved here, it was all because we could have lived anywhere in Florida we wanted to for the most part, but we chose here because of the people and how everybody waved when you went by and you don't even know them, and they still do that. And we love this community, and I really, I said from day one when the board talked to me, I don't have no personal agenda. If I was to put a personal agenda on anything, the only thing it would be is I have a home here, which is an investment. So that's my personal agenda, just to make sure that we don't lose that investment. But all the emails and things that have been coming across, I'm really saddened by the way that they are presented. Being in the corporate world for 3 decades, I've never seen such a thing. And my thing, even in the corporate world, was, don't come to me with your problems unless you have a solution. I could show you countless emails that have all complaining griping and blaming and criticizing the board, FSR, and so on and so forth. Every one of them are like that, but not one, I can honestly say, not one has offered up a solution. You know, if they're complaining about a certain few things, okay, well, as was mentioned, you know, you're president, you're, you know, a pro golfer, you're whatever, you have all this knowledge. Well, then what's your solution instead of just putting a period at the end and leaving it? I finally responded on about 3 or 4 emails to those people directly, and it doesn't matter who they are because I know they're good people. But I responded that I just won't tolerate it anymore, and I'm just openly saying that now. I will not respond, tolerate, or deal with any hard criticizing emails that are coming across. But if you put it into, it's all in the presentation, people. If you put it into a respectful email with, if you got a concern, that's fine, we all do. But, you know, offer up some suggestions. You know, put it in a respectful email, because you know what, the board, we're not the only decision makers here. FSR is not the only decision maker here, you know? So it's like there's you know, areas that each person has accountability for. But put it in a respectful email, and I wrote back to these people that I will not respond any longer, and until you can start being more respectful, then I'm just deleting your email. I don't even care. Well, lo and behold, within less than a half an hour, 3 of those people responded back to me with very respectful emails. And I have since told them I would be more than happy to meet with you. I don't have all the answers. You know, people, you know, talk to me about, well, what's my credibility? What's my, you know, I've worked at golf courses and was side by side with a general manager who was just off the charts for over 3 decades at this particular course. And I refer to him on certain things. So, you know, do I know it all? No, but I guarantee you the ones that are emailing us or anybody out here doesn't know it all. You know, so my whole thing was, I think my last email I put, why can't we work together? You know, because that's what we're here for. We're here to be a betterment for the greater good of this community. And I just really want to see all those naysayers out there coming together with us, and let's come to some good conclusions or solutions, and let's move forward. Because until that happens, it's just going to keep being in this chaos. And personally, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the chaos. And, you know, probably said too much, but that's my personal opinion.
No comment.
No comments?
No.
No comment.
Okay, well, I'm going to read a very unpopular statement here, actually. But as I'm coming off the board, it's not going to make much difference. I'll carry on. I would like to add a few words before we continue in relation to a lot of emails both FSR and the board have been receiving concerning the golf course, its operation and golf play. If we observe the 2026 budget proposal that will be ratified next week, every resident golfer and non-golfer alike will see a shortfall in golf revenue of approximately $650,000. This shortfall is paid and supported by all the community, including the paid golf membership. This is an inappropriate ratio of people who play golf in the community to those who just live here. The golf course is a valuable asset to any community and to an extent enhances home values. These values are difficult to estimate. Strides need to be taken to reduce this deficit. So the message is, be grateful for what you have currently and help us to move forward. Ponder also to think that if the golf course was profitable, where this money could be spent. For example, a gable roof pavilion on the restaurant patio, covered pickleball courts, walking trail, etc. Just a thought. That's my closing message. Just to announce, our next meeting will be on the 30th of October, which is our budget ratification meeting. We have a full board meeting on November 13th, and we have a board workshop on a date TBD, so I need now to discuss that date TBD with you guys. It was obviously the Thursdays of Thanksgiving, which no one's going to be turning up here on Thanksgiving Day. So, any suggestions when you would like to have that meeting? Thanksgiving Day, yes. Well, that's what I'm. That's what I'm open. I'm asking.
Speak in your mic, Ms. Lynn.
I'm asking which of you, asking now, which rather than send it out on a mass email, which of you are available on what days?
That entire week.
I'm here that week.
So would the Monday work for everyone?
Sure.
Sure. I think so.
So let's make it Monday, November 23rd then.
You saw me, I looked back at
Oh,
my
sorry.
wife. Is that okay?
23rd?
24th is a Monday, November.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at 26th. Sorry,
Are you guys here that week, Kevin, or
Yeah.
on vacation?
Monday 24th. Yeah, apologies. I jumped it.
What time are you
I jumped a
having it?
year.
9:30?
9:30. Okay, everyone's happy with that. Russ, you happy? Yes, Russ is happy.
This is okay.
Okay, so I'll just ask for a motion now to adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favour? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned approximately 11:15. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Russ.